but if it means keeping our officers here, and how often do we have the sheriff come and ask the board for something like this? He usually never comes to us and makes this kind of a request because he sees the writing on the wall, and he's coming to us as the elected leaders of this community to tell us we've got a problem, we have a chance to get ahead of it, but if we don't, then we're going to have some challenges and some issues that are not going to, it's not going to all sit on him, it's going to sit on us.
So, Madam Chair,
go ahead, Supervisor Bonke.
I think that there's a difference between what we did last year for the bus drivers and that what we're considering right now. The bus drivers, it was a much smaller amount of money. We were in an emergency situation because we didn't have bus drivers to drive the buses. And I don't feel the conversation that we're having right now is really fair. I don't see the sheriff, he's standing up here saying that, yes, it is a concern, but I'm not hearing the same level of emergency from him as I'm hearing from you. So, and so that's why I feel that I want to take a more tempered approach to this and look at doing something for our deputies right now and also doing some kind of a bonus, but I'm not in a position at this moment, given the information that I have from our sheriff, to do a 20%. And I'm not saying they're not deserving, I'm just not in that position. They're certainly deserving. But I don't feel the sense of urgency from the sheriff that I'm feeling from you. And so I don't feel that that's really fair that, you know, you're saying that the onus is going to be on the board. You know, we're all up here as elected officials trying to do the best that we possibly can with all the information that we have. And I don't think we're in a rush position the way I hear from your voice. And so I'm really hesitating and pausing on some of that. And I feel like we need to be a little bit more methodical and deliberate and intentional with the decisions that we're going to make.
But I keep hearing fiscal responsibility as though it equates to just not spending money, and that's not what that is. I don't know when that's become kind of the narrative of how we talk about that. But again, it's about fraud, waste, and abuse not happening. And if we're fiscally responsible, we invest. We do lots of things, and this is an investment in our public safety to make sure that we continue to retain people who are qualified and have a lot of experience, and that we can continue to build that force that we need. So I just wanted to make those points. Thank you.
And I do want to address the tax aspect as well, because I think I mentioned in my comments that I don't think anybody who attended National Night Out last night would have an issue if they knew that that money was going to give a 20% pay raise to keep and recruit the best deputies to serve Stafford County. So when they were in an emergency situation and they had to call 911 or they were involved in a crime, that we had the best individuals there and ready and able to assist them, and that we didn't have response times impacted. I can tell you there are changes happening at the sheriff's office right now that they're having to address these challenges. People are having to work required overtime. They're having to work holdovers. The shifts are looking very, very different than they were even just a month ago. You know, and the sheriff, you know, kind of brought a tear to my eye when he told me this when I met with him. He said, look, we're never going to risk the level of service. It's just going to be harder on our people. And so that's why he's not up here telling us it's an emergency right now, because his people are going to step up to the challenge and do what they swore that they were going to do, which is serve and protect this community. But what lies on our shoulders is how are we going to treat those individuals? Are we going to put them in that situation? Or are we going to take an action that allows these 24 empty positions, 36 empty positions starting in January? I bet you outside of when we first started the sheriff's, we've never had that many open, empty positions. That 24 deputies is practically an entire day's shift. That is how many deputies we're down right now. And it'll be 36 come January. And that's not even including I think it's the over 100 or so that the state owes us that show our growth numbers. We need more officers. And the men and women in our sheriff's office right now are rising to that challenge, and they're having to work overtime, and they're having to step in and stay away from their families. But to what extent is that sustainable? They're going to start making mistakes. They're going to start making very costly mistakes. and they're going to start leaving because they can't continue to do this to their families. And so those are real things that are happening right now. I think that that is an emergency. The fact that our emergency operators are having to work 18-hour overtime days, required, mandatory, not even a choice, is mind-blowing. I think the fact that a starting deputy makes the same hourly rate as a bus driver, which I love our bus drivers and thank God for them, I would never be able to do that job. They make the same amount of money. That's not right. And we're talking 20%. 20% of $22 is literally giving these individuals $4.80 more, $4 more. That's crazy. And to say we can't afford it, we absolutely can afford it. And, you know, when we talk about raising taxes, if Mr. Cohen wants to hear me say the words, I'll raise taxes to give these deputies more money, I absolutely will. I don't care about being a Republican. I don't ever care about getting reelected. I care about making sure that our community is safe and making sure that these deputies don't have to go through this. And so I will do whatever is necessary. And I'm glad this is videotaped. I'm glad it's on the record, because you can use these words and throw them up at me next year when we go through this process. I will take the onus on this. I am 100% happy doing that. But we have money to pay for right now for it, and we can use ARPA money to offset the cost implications of that tax increase if we phase it slowly. But doing nothing and doing 5% is a joke. That's laughable, in my opinion. 5% isn't going to get these in. It's the people who are going to leave are going to leave. They're going to laugh at 5%. And bonuses don't count toward their retirement. Why would you go for a bird in the bush when you have a bird in the hand? When you know you can go to all these other agencies, you know you're locking in your retirement, you know you're locking in your salary, and you're not waiting on the Board of Supervisors in Stafford County to figure out what the heck they're going to do. When we did bonuses last year of $3,000, it was almost $1.5 million. We literally, like, it blows my mind that this board is even considering doing a bonus at almost the exact cost of providing our employees the 20% raise this year. So, like, to me, that's a waste of money, because it's one time, and it's a short-term retention bonus. It doesn't count toward their retirement, and all we're doing is giving it to people who may not be planning to leave, and we're not addressing the root cause of why they're leaving. And the astronomical cost of providing that is literally the exact same cost of providing a 20% raise this fiscal year. So,
but Chairman Banuch, the difference is that you are not using one-time cost for recurring. So that is the rub for those people that might be interested in a bonus. We understand the finances of that. There are different perceptions on the board, and while I appreciate what you're saying, I understand what you're saying, there are other ways to skin the cat. That's all I'm saying, is that we all know that a bonus doesn't go towards retirement. It's for retention. The state police are using it, so they can't be that stupid.
But they also gave a 26% pay increase in addition to the bonus.
Well, they're obviously struggling. So I'm just saying there are a lot of different ways you can look at things, and we can't just say that people's ideas are dumb and unconscionable when that is how a board member feels about the facts that they believe are in front of them and that they are comfortable with. So I think we have to agree to disagree that we all have a different perception.